This edition of the Isaacsonian is dedicated by dear alumnus of Yeshiva Azriel Goldman in honor of the yahrzeit, the 19th yahrzeit of his grandmother, Luba Shendel Bas Tzvi. May her neshama have an aliyah. Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. Baruch Hashem, Yeshiva is booming, going really, really well. A short idea on Parshas Vayechi. So the Parsha opens up that Yaakov Avinu says, Al no tikbareni b'Mitzrayim. He brings in Yosef. He says, I do not want to be buried in Mitzrayim. I want to be buried in Eretz Yisrael, in Hebron, in Kuras Avos, with his father, with his grandfather. And then he makes Yosef take a shvuah. Simna yadcha tachas yirechi. Take a shvuah. I do not want to be buried in Mitzrayim. The question is, why did Yosef have to take a shvuah? Yosef obviously so happy to be reunited with his father. He's going to do whatever Yaakov wants. Why the shvuah? Why do we need a shvuah? Why was Yaakov not confident that Yosef would follow his will without the shvuah? That's the kasha that the Ramban asks in the beginning of our parsha. And the Ramban gives two answers. Answer number one is because, Paro might have a say over here. Paro might want Yaakov buried in Mitzrayim, and to overcome any interests of Paro, so a shvuah is taken. Okay, but then the Ramban gives another answer, which is very profound. He goes, even Yosef, it was necessary that Yosef take the shvuah for Yosef, to make sure that he would be mishtadel, do everything that was necessary to make sure that it happened. What was the concern? Because life is life, and sometimes things happen. Sometimes things become difficult. Sometimes there are very, very, even legitimate excuses. And therefore says Yaakov, I want to turn you, Yosef, into a mukhrach. I want to make sure that it gets done no matter what, that there be no rationalizations, that there be no rational lies, that there be no excuses, no justifications. Because sometimes we build narratives for ourselves that we justify certain things when we know they shouldn't be happening. So the shvuah is made to make sure that even legitimate excuses would not arise. And in life, oftentimes, that's a critical message, is that sometimes we have to make ourselves into a mukhrach. At some point in the next couple of months, I'm going to make myself into a mukhrach. I'm going to say publicly, not yet, that I'm going to lose, Bezrat Hashem, 20, 25 pounds. When I do that publicly, I turn myself, now how can I face my listeners and not lose that weight? It's embarrassing to me. I turn myself into a mukhrach. Sometimes, in order to avoid even legitimate excuses, that's what we have to do. That was the shvuah that was demanded of Yaakov by Yaakov of Yosef, and that's a fundamental lesson. When it comes to certain things, sometimes we should try to make things non-negotiable. There's no option. I must do so, and that will mean that even legitimate excuses will not be implemented. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek.